I'm Mel Prest. I'm a painter and my work is in the show The Space Between. My work is fairly minimal and it's all oil on panel, dealing with color and color relationships. I tend to do sort of gradient patterns where there's such a subtle shift in color. When the colors are right next to each other, it's hard to tell that they're actually different colors. I start with a fairly limited palette. This palette, I've written down the colors I'm using. I'm using Naples yellow, and Indian yellow, raw umber, and indethroned blue, and also titanium raw color. So basically I start with, this color, like a huge pile of it, and then I slowly added the Indian yellow, and then starting to add like a little bit of raw umber. And then just putting the paint and just so sort of like a cumulative event. And then coming to a certain point where I feel like it's kind of at full saturation, and then starting to add the indethroned blue in, where you can see it starts to get darker, and then adding the titanium buff back in to lighten it up. So, and this is for a painting called Avatar Sky Burial that's in the show and also on the brochure. I was landing at San Francisco airport one night, and it was like sort of right after the brightest part of the sunset, and it starts to get into the blues and grays, and because it was kind of overcast, everything was really gray. So this is from, like, I took a quick little picture on my cell phone when we landed, and then I went back to my studio and sort of extracted the colors from my memory and also from my, bad cell phone picture. The panels themselves come from layers and layers and layers of color over time, like 3 or 4 months usually, just tons and tons of layers, and then it comes to a point where it just feels right. I sit with the panel on my lap and I start from one edge and I do one line at a time, and so you can see when you look at the paintings, like the bumps where I've sort of reloaded my brush, and things get, the color gets really dense or really vibrant again, so there's sort of this feeling of the hand. It's not supposed to be perfect, and then it ends up creating like a vibration. My intention in my work is not to have like a prescribed meaning or a specific narrative, not something that you get or don't get. It's hopefully there are some things that exist simultaneously that people relate to and can appreciate. But I think that everyone will see something different, and that's the best.